sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.
All right, back again for another deep dive, and man, do we have a trade to break down this time. Jimmy Butler's out of Miami, headed to Golden State. We've got Sean Powell's take on NBA.com, and let me tell you, it's a wild one.
Yeah, this is a move that could have ripple effects throughout the whole league.
So first things first, Miami. Why trade away, their star player, right? What's the deal? It wasn't like they were, struggling or anything.
No, not a typical blow it up and rebuild situation, that's for sure. Seems more like things had just gotten messy. Powell kind of paints a picture of contract issues, clashes with the front office, specifically Pat Riley. Just not a good vibe there anymore.
So they just figured, cut our losses, fresh start. Even with a name as big as Butler.
I think so, yeah. Sometimes the best thing you can do is just, clear the air, move on.
And Golden State. They're going all in, grabbing a guy known for...
Well, you're
this
good as a bullet.
Right, it's intense, right? That's got to be a risk.
Sure, definitely some risk there. But you got to look at where they're at. Steph, he's still incredible, but he's not getting any younger. Golden State's all about winning now, right? So they're like, let's maximize these next few years. Draft picks, cap space, whatever, all on the table. Championships are the goal.
And, of course, that's where you get playoff Jimmy.
Right.
Right? The guy turns it up in the postseason. But can he do that next to Curry and Draymond? That's a lot of personality in one locker room. Can they make it work?
$1 million question, right? Could be an amazing trio, but those guys, they're all used to being the guy, so maybe it clashes. Coach Kerr's going to have his hands full, no doubt.
Because it's one thing to, manage personalities off the court. Right. But their game styles, Golden State, they're all about that motion offense.
That's it.
And Butler, he's kind of more like, give me the ball, isolation plays. How's that going to work?
Yeah, good point. Sean Powell actually talks about that, how they fit together tactically. It's not just the egos, it's the actual basketball, too.
Oh, and we can't forget about the money. 2 years, $121 million. That's a lot of cheddar for Butler. Kind of puts Golden State in a bind for the future, doesn't it?
Big time. They've locked themselves in pretty much, so yeah, if this doesn't work out, big consequences. A gamble, for sure.
But it's not just about Miami and Golden State, is it? Sean Powell brings up Bradley Beal over in Phoenix.
And that's where it gets really interesting. This whole thing kind of shows how much power players have these days. Beal, he's got that no trade clause, right? So Phoenix wanted in on this Butler thing, maybe a 3-team trade, but Beal's contract with that clause couldn't happen. He basically had veto power.
So one player in Phoenix impacts a trade between Miami and Golden State. Wild. What does that say about, where the league's headed?
Well, it's a trend, right? And it's not just the NBA. It's like all the major sports. Players want more control, more no-trade clauses, forcing trades, the whole thing. Teams, they got to figure out how to deal with that. It's a whole new ballgame.
So ripple effects across the league. But back to Miami for a second. Did they even get anything good out of this?
On paper? Maybe not. But hey, sometimes getting rid of a headache, that's a win in itself. Especially a headache with a giant contract. They got Wiggins and Anderson. Not bad.
Wiggins was a #1 pick, tons of potential. And Anderson, he's smart, versatile.
Yeah.
I think they can step up with a bigger role.
I think so. Wiggins has the talent. Maybe a change of scenery does him some good. Anderson, I think he'll fit in perfectly. Those kind of glue guys, they're valuable.
And Miami's got the cap space now, right, to build something. This could be a whole new chapter for them.
Exactly. Clean slate, some decent players, and options. Who knows? Might be the start of something big.
Man, this whole thing really makes you think, how fast things can change, right? Yeah. 1 minute you're a contender, the next minute rebuilding. And for these guys, their careers, it's legacy time.
Yeah, that's a great point. For Steph, this is a chance to really cement himself, all-time great status. Another ring, especially with a guy like Butler, shuts up all the doubters. The whole he needed a super team argument, gone.
4 rings already. But you know how it is. There's always that little bit of, but.
Exactly. This could change the narrative completely.
And Butler, this is his shot, right? To be the top dog on a championship team. He came close in Miami, but...
never quite got there.
And he's always had that chip on his shoulder, that I'll prove you wrong thing. Now he's got the stage. A lot of pressure, though. Can he handle it?
That's going to be fascinating to watch. Talk about adding another layer of drama to the league. And speaking of drama, what about the East? No Butler. Does that just knock Miami out of the playoffs?
Tough to say. It's an uphill battle for sure, but they got talent like Tyler Herro and Spo. Don't forget about Spoelstra. One of the best coaches in the league, right?
Oh, for sure. Spo can, like, get the absolute most out of his players. Remember that playoff run a few years ago? Nobody thought they'd get anywhere close.
It's Miami Heat culture, man. That's real.
It is. Grit, resilience. They always find a way. I wouldn't count them out just yet.
Do you think Wiggins and Anderson can, step up enough to keep him in the mix?
Wiggins, honestly, the guy's got all-star potential. If he can find some consistency, watch out. And Anderson brings a lot to the table, smart player, does a little bit of everything.
So maybe not contenders, but still a tough team to face. This trade really changes things up, both conferences.
Totally. Shows you how one move can have a ripple effect. This isn't just about Miami and Golden State. It's the balance of power, new opportunities, could even change the whole story for a bunch of franchises.
Like a chess game, right? Every move matters. Speaking of moves, if you were Pat Riley, what would you have done differently?
Oh, man. Armchair GM is always easier, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. So many factors. I think Riley, he knew that Butler thing, it just wasn't working anymore. Sometimes got to cut your losses, Even if it means letting go of a star.
Taking a gamble. Hoping to build for the future. We'll see if it works out.
That's the beauty of the NBA. Always surprises. Twists and turns. You can analyze all you want, but the game's got to be played,
We've talked a lot about the strategy and all that. What about the fans, though? Miami fans, how are they feeling right now?
Oh, mixed bag, for sure. Some probably relieved, The drama with Butler, it was getting kind of old, fresh start. Others, heartbroken probably, especially the ones who loved that fire he brought, that never back down attitude.
Yeah, he was a fan favorite, no doubt.
And Miami, they do a good job of connecting with their players, builds loyalty with the fans. It's more than just wins and losses sometimes. It's the players who represent the city.
And Golden State fans, they got a superstar added to a team that's already stacked.
I bet they're going crazy. Steph, Draymond, and Butler. That's must-see TV.
Jay Center's going to be wild next season. This trade definitely shook things up for everyone.
That's why we love this league. The drama, the unpredictability, the possibility of anything happening.
And, that's what keeps us coming back, right? That anything can happen feeling. This trade threw a wrench into the gears. Can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
Before we get ahead of ourselves, though, I've got to put things in perspective. Let's look back historically. How does this compare to other big trades that, really changed the NBA?
Okay, so big picture now. We've seen blockbuster trades before. How does this one, rank, in terms of really shaking things up?
Oh, man, in terms of, star power and the potential impact, yeah, it's got to be up there. Kind of reminds me of that Kawhi Leonard trade back in 2018, San Antonio to Toronto. That really changed things up. And, of course, the Raptors, they ended up winning it all.
And Butler, just like Kawhi, he's proven he can, take a team to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
So is Golden State thinking dynasty?
Could be. But there's a difference, right? Kawhi was, younger when he got traded. Butler, he's still amazing, but he's not in his 20s anymore.
Yeah, age is a factor, wear and tear, all that. But even if he's not, peak Butler, that experience, the leadership, Golden State, they got some young guys, that could be huge for them.
Oh, absolutely. Veteran presence, you can't underestimate that. And, Butler in the playoffs, that's what they need.
This almost feels like, remember that Kevin Garnett trade back in 2007? Minnesota to Boston, formed that big three, Pierce, Allen, Garnett.
Won a title that year, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, are we seeing history repeat itself?
It's a good comparison, but it's hard to say. The league's different now, More competitive. Golden State, it's all going to come down to chemistry, staying healthy.
Yeah.
And a little bit of luck never hurts.
And what about Miami? They're not done, are they?
No way. Miami Heat culture, remember? They're known for exceeding expectations,
They always find a way, don't they?
Yeah, they develop players. They find ways to win when nobody thinks they can. I wouldn't be surprised if they stayed competitive, even without Butler.
Okay, so we've talked about the teams, but the fans. Miami fans, they got to have some mixed feelings about all this.
I'd say so. Some probably, relieved. Things with Butler, it seems like a lot of tension, Maybe a fresh start was the best thing for everyone.
But others.
Yeah.
I bet they're heartbroken. Butler, he was a fan favorite. That intensity, the passion.
Yeah.
People love that.
Yeah, and, Miami, they build those connections with their players, right? That loyalty with the fans. It's not just about, winning and losing. It's about the players that represent the city.
And on the other side, Golden State fans. They're getting a superstar added to a team that's already, stacked.
Must be going crazy. Steph, Draymond, and now Jimmy Butler. Man, that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, Chase Center is going to be wild next year. This whole trade just like energized the whole league.
Yeah. Reminds us why we love the NBA, right? The
No,
drama, the storylines. You just never know what's going to happen next.
All right, well, that wraps up our deep dive into this crazy trade. But now it's your turn. What do you think? Will Butler take Golden State all the way? Can Miami bounce back?
So many questions, so many possibilities. That's what's great about it, right? We can talk, we can analyze. But the game's got to be played. And we'll be here to break it all down for you.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have the ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I